Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A method of birth control in which coitus is initiated but the penis is deliberately withdrawn before ejaculation. Avoiding emotional involvement. A retraction of a previously held position. The termination of drug taking. Formal separation from an alliance or federation. The act of ceasing to participate in an activity. The act of taking out money or other capital. The act of withdrawing. The withdrawal of French troops from Vietnam. The act of withdrawing blood, tumors, etc. The nurse was expert at the withdrawal of blood. A method of birth control in which coitus is initiated but the penis is deliberately withdrawn before ejaculation. A method of birth control in which coitus is initiated but the penis is deliberately withdrawn before ejaculation. Manual stimulation of the genital organs, of yourself or another, for sexual pleasure. A method of birth control in which coitus is initiated but the penis is deliberately withdrawn before ejaculation. A method of birth control in which coitus is initiated but the penis is deliberately withdrawn before ejaculation. The act of releasing from an attachment or connection. The state of being isolated or detached. Avoiding emotional involvement. Coming apart. A small unit of troops of special composition. A retraction of a previously held position. A retraction of a previously held position. The termination of drug taking. An Austrian school of art and architecture parallel to the French Art Nouveau in the 1890s. Formal separation from an alliance or federation. The withdrawal of 11 Southern states from the Union in 1860 which precipitated the American Civil War. Limiting the number of children born. Limiting the number of children born. Limiting the number of children born. The trait of lacking enthusiasm for or interest in things generally. Apathy demonstrated by an absence of emotional reactions. The trait of remaining calm and seeming not to care, a casual lack of concern. Unbiased, impartial unconcern. A disavowal or taking back of a previous assertion. The act of pulling or holding or drawing a part back. The retraction of the landing gear. A disavowal or taking back of a previous assertion. A disavowal or taking back of a previous assertion. Event whose occurrence ends something. The proposition arrived at by logical reasoning, such as the proposition that must follow from the major and minor premises of a syllogism. The act of making up your mind about something. He drew his conclusions quickly. A position or opinion or judgment reached after consideration. His conclusion took the evidence into account. The act of ending something. The last section of a communication. In conclusion, I want to say. The temporal end, the concluding time. A final settlement. The conclusion of a business deal. An intuitive assumption. Jump to a conclusion. Event whose occurrence ends something. His death marked the ending of an era. The end of a word, a suffix or inflectional ending or final morpheme. I don't like words that have ism as an ending. The act of ending something. The last section of a communication. The point in time at which something ends. The ending of warranty period. The end of a word, a suffix or inflectional ending or final morpheme. The act of ending something. The termination of the agreement. A coming to an end of a contract period. A place where something ends or is complete. Something that results. Law, the cessation of cohabitation of man and wife, either by mutual agreement or under a court order. Coming apart. The distance between things. Fragile items require separation and cushioning. Sorting one thing from others. The separation of wheat from chaff. The act of dividing or disconnecting. The social act of separating or parting company. The separation of church and state. The space where a division or parting occurs. He hid in the separation between walls. The state of lacking unity. The termination of employment, by resignation or dismissal. The act of removing. The act of removing. He had surgery for the removal of a malignancy. Dismissal from office. The act of departing. Euphemistic expressions for death. Advancing toward a goal. Persuading him was easy-going. In full operation. A going concern. The act of departing. A variation that deviates from the standard or norm. The act of departing. Euphemistic expressions for death. The act of departing. A blunt expression of views. I told him cold turkey. Complete and abrupt withdrawal of all addictive drugs or anything else on which you have become dependent. He quit smoking cold turkey. The act of breaking away or withdrawing from. A breaking away from family and neighborhood. Departing hastily. The act of breaking away or withdrawing from. There was a breakaway by the discontented members. Having separated or advocating separation from another entity or policy or attitude. A breakaway faction. The withdrawal of money from your account at a bank.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.